Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raven Maureen, and today I'm going to be sharing with you all about my new Janome Horizon Memory Craft machine, sewing machine. I am so excited to share this new machine with you guys. But first, I just want to address like an elephant in the room, and that elephant is some more additional new technology. The other elephant is Nala, by the way. So yeah, if you can't already tell, your girl got a new camera, and holy audio Batman, I got a little mic, so I feel so official now. If you're interested in knowing about my camera, it is the Osmo Pocket 2. I actually got like a generation behind for the current one, because that was a little bit more in my budget. So there's a little pro tip for you guys. If you're ever looking for some sort of updated technology, always look at maybe like the generation behind the latest one, or even look at refurbs. But mine is a generation behind, and look, it still does all the same things. There's like some small features that aren't featured with the Pocket 2, but for what I need, this is working well within my budget. Also, like, the clarity in the video is like really throwing me off. So like when you guys see Nala leaping, like I hope you guys aren't freaking out as much as I am. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to address that because I'm gonna sound different. I'm probably gonna look a little different. You're probably gonna, notice some dust particles in the background that probably weren't as visible with my iPhone. So again, if you are in that vlogging journey and you're intimidated and you're like, gosh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, you don't need those things. All you need is a camera, a phone, an idea, and you got it. Anyway, let's get into the real reason why we are all here, which is my new baby. So I got my Memory Craft I know I got it like a month ago, because it actually came in the mail while I was in Atlanta for Atlanta Frock Tales, and basically it just kind of was sitting in the living room until I got home, and then like I had some other things that I needed to take care of. So it wasn't until maybe like a week and a half ago that I actually took it out of the box and did an unboxing. And I've actually done a handful of projects on this machine, so I feel like I'm really ready to give you guys this overall review of it. Now, I do want to be completely transparent with you guys. I am a Janome maker, so that means that I am sponsored by Janome, and this machine was pretty much given to me in a loan to own type of partnership. So I've had a 4-year partnership with them, and in that partnership I do provide marketing content, free tutorials, sewing tutorials and whatnot in exchange for my machine. So it's not like they just kind of gave me a machine or gave me 2 or 3 machines and said, okay, bye, see you later. There's actually a bit of sweat equity that goes with that. But I will say that if you are a creator or someone who is actually interested in not necessarily just becoming a Janome maker, but just being in a partnership or a sponsorship with a sewing machine company, I highly encourage you to look into it. I know that most of the major brands like Janome, like Bernina, like Singer, Brother, Husqvarna, Viking, which I think is part of Singer, don't quote me on that, and then Baby Lock, I know that they all have some sort of partnership program, and usually you can find that information on their website and you can sign up. I don't think you have to have thousands of followers. When I first started with Janome, I did not have thousands of followers. I did not even have a YouTube page, but what I did have was just the drive to go and apply and enough to believe in myself. And I did actually do like an actual phone interview and discussed with them my goals and what I wanted to accomplish and whatnot. So I'm stepping away from that, but I just kind of wanted to let you know and be fully transparent in how I was able to obtain this machine. Now, I am extremely grateful for my partnership, but like I said, that does come with a bit of work. So my first sewing machine with Janome was the Skyline S7. If you're familiar with the Skyline S7, you've probably seen it in like a ton of my videos, because I'm always sewing on it. And so for like the last 4 years, that has pretty much been the center of a lot of my videos, was the Skyline S7, which was a great machine, by the way, still is. I have it in a box in our shed. I'm not planning to give it away anytime soon, but this machine right here is actually a step above the Skyline in a lot of measures. But the Skyline, just to kind of give you a brief overview, the Skyline had 11 buttonholes, seven alphabets, 240 stitches. There was an automatic buttonhole foot. There was the bobbin winder. You did have 29 accessories and like a handful of feet that came with it. It did have the knee lift. It has a lot of the features that this machine has, but this one obviously has more. And then it also did have the side screen right here, which was honestly very nuanced to me when I first got it. Like, I feel like this one is a spaceship, but the Skyline, when I first got it, I was like, first of all, it was an upgrade from my Project Runway Brother edition, which also I still have that too, but it was a major upgrade from that. You know, the whole panel, first of all, was, I wouldn't call it a learning curve, but it was like an adjustment. I had never experienced anything like that, and he's never seen anything like that, and so it did take some getting used to. But to me, if you look at your manual and you've worked on one machine, you can pretty much work on any other machine. Now, with the Horizon Memory Craft, it does have a side panel as well. This machine also has 11 buttonholes. This one comes with 400 stitches. It does have over 1,000 stitches per minute that you can do at the max speed, and it has that adjuster, which my Skyline had as well. My Skyline also had all of these buttons, which is like the back stitch button. This is like the stop and just stitch button. That's not the right word for it, but that's what I'm calling it. This is to lift the needle. This one, of course, is to lift the foot. And then this one is the cutter. So all of these were on my Skyline as well. I don't think they were in this order though, because sometimes when I'm like sewing, I find myself trying to touch something and it's like out of place for me because I think it was in a different spot on the S7. So like my hand memory is a little off up here. And then of course it does have this little plate, which if I take this off, it'll come down and it'll look like that. The Skyline was 30 pounds. This is more than 30 pounds. It's very heavy. And I feel like the handle, I wouldn't call it a joke, but I'm like, this machine is really heavy. The handle, you guys, I need more than the handle. I need a crane for this. Like, this is a two-man job to lift this up and put this down. I mean, I did a reel, but y'all, I was sweating at the end. When I picked it up and put it, it was a lot. But anyway. So yeah, it does have this. I usually keep this open though because I always have a project going on. So I always just kind of have this open. And then let me tell you some things that are different, which I know you guys are like, get to the good stuff, Raven. So let me tell you some of the things that are different. This arm right here is really deep. Like it goes deep in there. As a matter of fact, let me get a ruler. I'm just grabbing the first ruler that I see, by the way, so please don't come for me in my rulers. But this arm is 9 inches, which when you're working on big pieces of garments, like, yes, I realize this is primarily for someone who makes quilts and things like that, but when you're working on big garments, big skirts, something that has a, you know, just a lot of fabric, like this has been wonderful to sew on for that. I will say too, I love this the screen. They say it's color. It is color, but I'm like, was the Skyline color too? Like now I can't remember. It's like my memories of the Memory Craft are replacing the memories of the S7. So I'm gonna turn it on right quick so you guys can see, but yeah. So it makes the same noise as my Skyline. That's how my Skyline sounds when I turn it on and whatnot. It's got more LED lights right here. So it's really cool. It really feels like a spaceship. Like, and I like that it's got the lights right here because if I'm recording behind my sewing machine, I can get that extra light so that you guys can really like see the fabric and it's illuminated and whatnot. So this panel right here, you guys, it's got dials. All right, so I want you guys to see these dials. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'll try to get like a better picture. So one dial is to literally move the needle, and then the other dial is to widen the stitch length. And I love this because it used to be that I had to take my stylus and like keep hitting it until I got to the desired length and the desired position. But now it's literally like a television, like an old school television. And then if I just want to like put it back to factory settings, I'm like, all right, thanks. Like I just tap it. So yeah, that's definitely one of my, I know that sounds like a really small thing, but I don't know, like I think that's like one of the coolest features of this. So please don't laugh at me, but I love my little dials. Like I think they're so cool. So the other thing that I don't know if this is annoying yet, but it's been annoying in the last two projects that I've done. I get bobbin alerts, and they said that that setting was on the S7. I never had that setting, and it wasn't on there when I first got it. So I'm not used to these bobbin alerts. Like it'll give me an alert that says like your bobbin thread is low. And I'm like, I know, I got enough to finish the stitch. I'm going to keep going. And so then it'll stop again like a few seconds later, like, hey, it's really low. And I'm like, I know. And I'm going to keep going. And then like, it's like me and this machine had like a bit of a tussle, because then at one point it was like, well, it's too low, we're not going. I was like, you had more stitches. So I don't know, me and this machine have to get acquainted with the bobbin alerts. Maybe there's a way for me to cut it off. I haven't figured that part out yet, but it's testing me. It's really testing me. So the other thing I really like, and I need Joe to set it up because y'all, it's got too many screws. But okay, so I have a pedal, and then they gave me a little pedal, and I'm someone where I actually read my manual. So the little pedal is to cut the thread. So I can cut the thread up here, or I can cut the thread down there. So basically, yeah, we've got to get that hooked up as soon as possible, because if I don't have to touch this and I can just tap it with my foot, do you know what type of danger we would be in? I'm kidding. But yeah, so I like that. And then of course, one thing I did forget to mention earlier, so when the pedal isn't plugged in, when it's not engaged with the machine, you can start and stop your stitch right over here. I did not use that feature on my S7, and I don't plan to use it on this unless, like, heaven forbid, I break an ankle or something. I don't want that to happen, but that feature is there. I feel like it would just take too much adjustment. So I haven't used it. But in the projects that I have made with this, I've sewn a zipper in, I've used the buttons. I have basically used every single feature that I would typically use in a garment construction project in the last like couple of weeks in getting to know this machine. So I feel like me and this machine are really, really acquainted at this point. I will say though that at one point, no, like the first time I turned it on and the first time I started stitching with it, I thought it was broken. And the reason why I thought it was broken, y'all, was because it was really quiet. And I was like, why is this so quiet? So I stopped and I started looking around, and I'm like, oh, it's stitching. Like it was like so quiet that it didn't sound like there was any thread or anything stitching. And I was like, oh, okay, like, all right. And then I started getting used to it. And then Joe came home and he was like, hey, how do you like the new machine? And I was like, oh, it's so much quieter. And he gave me this look like, sounds the same to me. So I think you have to have like a trained ear. But if you know sewing machines, like how we know sewing machines, then you know that this machine is significantly quieter. So I do like that. And then let me tell you guys, I'm so embarrassed. So I have to like eat crow on this. So I was working on a project and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a buttonhole foot. And so I emailed my coordinator, and I wasn't nasty in the email at all. Like I'm never like that person that's like, this is missing. I was just like, hey, I hope you're having a good weekend. I was like, I seem to be missing like a buttonhole foot. Like, you know, I'm not sure, you know, what happened, but you know, could you send me one? And my coordinator, I don't know her, but I feel like she was probably like, bless her heart. So you guys, this machine has dual storage in here. So it has storage in this side, and then it's got storage on this side. So guess where my buttonhole foot was? On the back side. So when I saw it, I was like, oh. So I was like, in the email, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so silly and embarrassed. Thank you. Sorry. But that was a cool way to find out that I had extra storage, right? So yeah, that was cool that, you know, it's back there. This does come out like all the other machines and whatnot. And then I also got like a big storage box with this machine, which actually makes total sense because of the amount of feet that you get with it. You get all these accessories, feet, screws, and things like that. And so they actually, there's a box that comes with this. So this wasn't something that Janome was like, oh, you know, this is for Raven. No, this is a box that comes with the machine that you can keep everything in, which I like because I kind of bought like a little tackle box for my S7 because there were some accessories that came with that as well, but I didn't have to do that this time. So that was actually really nice that was provided with this machine. I will say, all in all, like if you have the S7, the S9, honestly, if you have, I feel like any of the Janome machines, this machine, it feels the same. It feels like a Janome machine. This doesn't feel like a level jump or anything like that. This feels like a natural succession, honestly, because like I said, everything is kind of where it was. I will say that from the S7 to the Memory Craft, the threading is slightly different up here, but I mean, otherwise this machine does what it needs to do. It's not overly sensitive except for the bobbin. We got to talk about that. But otherwise, this is a great machine. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming along for this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're not following me already, you can follow me at Raven Maureen on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.